Unbelievable, unbelievable. Hello, my name is Makai Warner, and I'm here with piano extraordinaire Andrew Afework. You may know him behind some background music like from Basketball Wives, Swagger. These are some Netflix shows that he was on, and also he connected with Drake's OVO protégé Division. How's it going, Andrew?
Good. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Bless. So, about Division, how did that come to be? Like, did you reach out to them or did they reach out to you?
So fast forward a year later, back in 2019, actually it was like a couple days before my birthday, I get a text from Ricky. So Ricky, for people who don't know, he's a facilitator in Remix, and he actually works closely with OVO. And at that time, he's managing Division, and he had reached out to me and said, "Hey Andrew, you still doing shows, performing?" I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, do you know how to like play songs really fast?" I'm like, "For sure." I'm like, "Can you send me the songs?" Because I didn't even know what songs he was talking about. So he sends me the songs, and I'm like looking at them. I'm like, "Oh, these sound like these are Division songs." And he's like, "Yeah, it's for Division." I'm like, "Oh wow, no way." And to let people know, this was actually on a Thursday, and the show was actually on a Saturday, and that same day was actually the day I was actually celebrating my birthday, doing a whole event and all that stuff. So at first I wasn't too sure if I wanted to do this whole performance, because I mean, it's Division, you know, this is a big opportunity for me. I've never performed with a bigger artist like that, and I wasn't too sure if I was able to get the songs down in time. So I remember I told Ricky, like, "Hey, let me get back to you in a couple hours." So I remember I really just finished work, and I reached out back to Ricky and I said, "Let's do this." And then from there, fast forward a couple days later, I'm meeting Division. We go to this like really nice like mansion out in like Rosedale area, and then I'm there and I see Division, I see Ricky, and we're like practicing all the songs, and that's kind of how it all came together.
Damn, that's a crazy story. So was there like an I made it moment? Like, damn, like this is for real. Like, I'm actually doing this. Was there like an aha moment for you?
Definitely. I feel like that moment was right before the show started. They called me up to go first, and I remember I'm just sitting there, the piano, and I'm just like getting ready to play, and I remember they called Division, and then as soon as he starts walking, I start playing, and then everyone was just paying attention, and I was just like, wow, like this is a big moment, you know? And just that whole event itself was really amazing because it was like invite only. Everybody was all dressed up and stuff like that. I invited some of my homies and friends that pulled up as well. So it was really professional. Like the first time I ever did like a very like professional event, and how they put it all together and stuff. Like everything was for free. Like they had free caviar, you know, beer and wine and all this stuff. I didn't drink anything there just because I was so nervous. I didn't want to drink any of that stuff just yet. But no, it was a really good experience, and you know, because of that, it just opened a lot more doors. And to be honest, like since then, I haven't done a show for free. Like before that, I was doing shows for free here and there, and it was really just to get my name out there. So having that on my resume really just had people paying attention, like, "Oh wow, this guy can he's for Division, let me hire him." So,
as we said before, Andrew has created for some Netflix shows, Basketball Wives and Swagger. So with those shows for Netflix, did they take you along inside of a room and show you the film, and then you just cue it up, or how did that come to play? How did you create with that?
So I have long stories for everything. So
perfect.
Yeah, no. So with this story now, I have to like bring this back all the way to 2016. So back in 2016, I was really just on Instagram a lot, posting a lot of different videos and clips and stuff, and I came across this one producer engineer named Jazz Feezy, who's worked with Drake and Boy Wonder, a lot of people, but during that time he didn't work with Drake.
Yeah, Jazz Feezy was on More Life. He was featured on More Life.
Yeah, so even with that, during that time, I ended up connecting with Jazz, and he kind of like introduced me to the people on his team, and from there we were working on stuff for More Life, essentially. And he was like, "Whatever samples you're making, if whatever we're gonna finish, like we're gonna send it off to Drake's team," because during that time he just recently connected with Drake's manager, Noah at the time. So Fast forward, as far as all like the placements and TV stuff, a lot of the stuff that I made for More Life that didn't get placed actually got placed on these TV shows.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's how it came to be.
Yeah. So a
So
lot
you
of
had those locked and loaded.
exactly. Those beats
ready
were all
to-
ready to go.
Yeah.
I would initially create the samples and create like the main melodies, and then I would send it to Steve, who's Jazz's right hand guy. He would kind of finish the beat, and then
Wow.
Jazz would just mix it, and then Jazz is the connector, so he connects with all these different music supervisors from all these different TV shows and
And
stuff.
they messed with it, and it made Basketball Wives on Swagger and many
Yeah.
more shows on
Yeah.
Netflix.
So essentially, that's how all that came about, just through those relationships and even just having patience, because a lot of those beats were made back in 2016 and 2017. Those TV placements didn't happen until 5 years later, 2021, 2022, 2023. So it's just even being patient, and just knowing, even though I didn't get on these bigger like albums and stuff, I was able to have my music showcased on another platform on a bigger scale.
I think that's a big thing for creators that are making songs in their bedroom and like preparing these songs. You know that they're great, but society doesn't really know that they're great immediately. So sometimes like you'll catch up with other people at another time and connect as long as you manifest. So we're gonna play a little snippet of what Andrew's done on Basketball Wives, and you can hear it now.
Something like that.
So that was a snippet of what Andrew can do. He's nice on the keys. So let's ask some more personal questions. When did you start playing piano?
I started when I was 4 years old.
Damn.
Yeah, I was really young. My mom put me into piano at a young age.
What did she have you listening to like back then? Does that
So-
inspire anything?
So my story with the piano is I have a lot of long stories, I guess, so I'm gonna have to go in detail again. So when I was in, I guess I'd probably be junior kindergarten, JK. I was probably about like three and a half, and during that time I was like a really shy kid, would not talk to anybody, show no emotion, nothing, to a point where like the teacher would try talking to me and she'll like look at me, say my name, and I'll look at her like she's crazy, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, to a point that she actually had a conversation with my mom behind the scenes and was like, hey, like I think your son is deaf, because every time I talk to him, he does not respond to me at all.
So would you say you're like introverted?
Very much so. And to a point where my mom was like, you know what? I think he's good, but let's go check. So I still remember this vividly. So we go to this like studio where this old guy was just asking me all these different questions, like just saying, what's my name? Say it back. So it's like a call and response, and I just have to repeat everything he said. Obviously, I'm not deaf. I just didn't want to talk to him. It is what it is. I'm like 3.5. Like, what do I know, right? So after that, get the results. The guy's like, yeah, tells my mom that like he's fine. He can clearly hear. Maybe he just doesn't like the teacher. I don't know. So then my mom tells the teacher like, yeah, he's fine. He's responsive. Like, I don't really know what's going on. And then like I still remember one day we had like this section in class where it was like music. So I remember when she was playing all this music, I was smiling. I was like engaging with the class, and so she noticed like, oh, he likes music. So then she talks to my mom. Is like, hey, have you ever thought about putting Andrew into like an instrument or something like that? And my mom was like, maybe. So then from there, my mom was thinking about getting me to do guitar. Funny enough, my dad actually got me a guitar, but during that time there weren't any guitar teachers in our area. So then my mom ended up connecting with my gym teachers at the time, and she had a friend that taught piano to kids, but she was a little bit concerned because I wasn't even like 4 at this point. I'm still 3.5. But she was like, let me ask her and see if she would be interested in taking me. So from there, the gym teacher connected my mom with the piano teacher, and then ended up doing the lessons, and she took me, because at that point I was like 4. So then I started Letting Dead Forward. That's the whole story with that.
That's a crazy story. So
Yeah.
you're Ethiopian and Jamaican, right?
Yes.
So the early stages, do you think that's why you didn't really connect with people? Because like, you know, you got a lot of Caucasian teachers and students and these types of things. You didn't really vibe with them, or?
I think I was really young at the time, and I think another thing I would add to that is I'm someone who, I don't like to say a lot unless people ask me something, and if I don't really feel connected, or just like if I don't feel like I want to talk to someone, I don't really respond. And that's just how I've always been, because I like to just, you know,
It's like with the
like to be
police.
intentional.
It's like with the police. We don't know nothing about this.
I like to be intentional, and I think when I was really young too, I was super shy. I barely talked to people, and like the one thing that I was able to express myself with was music. Music was my outlet, and even till this day, you know, I feel like I can express myself more through the sounds of music instead of like what I have to say.
Thanks for being on the show Unbelievable with me. It's been a blast having you. Take care, homie.
Of course.
Stay up.
Well. Thank you once again. Take care. If anybody wants to search me, it's Andrew, and then my last name, Afework, for Instagram. And then if you want to contact me for beats or anything like that, it's the same thing at gmail.com. And that's pretty much it. Take care. God bless.